How about now? Did that fix it? We good? That better, guys? Awesome. Sorry, I had the mute button hit, so that way when I was fiddling with stuff behind the scenes, you guys wouldn't hear me making, like, bumping things and things like that. Once again, I forgot to hit the button, so I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to get the hang of this one day, I promise. So let me see. I'm going to pop this chat out so that way I can keep an eye on what's going on while we go through this. So once again, probably not going to be a super long show just because, I promised the girls I'd take them swimming before it got dark, and we are running a little bit behind. Sarah had to make a stop earlier to go check on one of her moms, get the baby weighed, things like that. Everybody's good, but excuse me. It put us behind. So let's get right into this. We'll go here. There we go. No, let's not do that yet. Let's do it like that. There we go. Sorry, guys. I am not used to using a laptop. This is throwing me for a loop. But I will be back in the studio for tomorrow night's show. But we're over here. Normally, I pre-record this so that way when I'm over here, I'm interacting with the chat with you guys. But we come over here every weekend to have dinner. I digress. I wasn't able to do that this week, so I apologize. Let's see. Let's get right into this. So this is an interesting story I found earlier. If it'll let me switch back over. There we go. All right. So apparently, Democrats are concerned Harris couldn't beat a GOP nominee, even if it was Trump. Now, keep that in mind as we talk about, when we talk about... Hold on, guys. Sorry, give me just a second here. There we go. So, when we're talking about... I'm losing my train of thought. When we're talking about the fact that there is so much vitriol for a person, you guys know I'm not political, but I thought this was a funny story because this is what happens. This right here is what happens when you elect people based on their physical look. Let's just call it what it is. This is what happens when you use racism as your platform to get people in office. You don't check to see their credentials to make sure they're qualified for the job in the first place. And that is kind of what has happened into this. So let's see what Doc Holliday has to say about this article. Whoops. Let's see if that helps. Yeah, that helps a lot more. So I'm going to start doing that. All right, Democrats concerned Harris couldn't beat a GOP nominee even if Trump report. So, Democrats, including some Biden administration officials, are reportedly so concerned about Vice President Kamala Harris, however you say her name, missteps that they don't believe she could beat a Republican in 2024 if she were to be the nominee, even if her opponent was former President Trump. Now, as you can see right here, in this box, it's they got this from a Fox News article. So, Democrats, including some Biden officials, are reportedly so concerned about Vice President Kamala Harris' missteps. We just read that. Democrats close to the White House told Axios they're concerned about Harris' mishandling of politically sensitive issues and, quote, political tone deafness, the outlet reported Friday. The vice president was widely panned by the right for her months-long refusal to visit the southern border after she was designated to run point on the migrant surge. Now, here's the thing. When you openly say before you're elected that, there's video of Joe Biden saying that they were going to immediately surge the border, and that when you have these, quote, open border policies, I just don't understand why everybody was surprised by this. This is, to me, it should be common sense. And I get it, politicians never really do what they're going to say they're going to do. Well, here's the thing about the left. If the left says they're going to do something to destroy this country, you best believe that is exactly what they are going to do. That's exactly what they're going to do. They're going to, if it is designed to strip us, especially if there's any way they can strip us of our religious freedom, our freedom to worship the Creator openly, they're going to do it. And one of the ways they can do that is to get illegal people in the country that will then vote for their leftist policies, which will in turn take away your First Amendment rights, your Second Amendment rights, and so on and so forth, until the point where we become a country that is so unrecognizable where, well, we're really like what you see right now. So, I thought this was interesting, and I'm not a political guy, but look, here's the thing. It doesn't matter who runs in 2024, who they're up against. God's going to put in who he wants put in. So it's up to each and every one of us to make sure we're doing our part to spread the gospel, so that way there can be a true revival in the land. But we can't be doing the mamby-pamby gospel that a lot of these churches are doing. What we have to do is we have to do the gospel that requires people to follow after God's commandments. And so one of the things I want to talk about tomorrow night on the main podcast, for those of you who don't know, our first YouTube video was put up on July 3rd. So this is the first anniversary of Course Correction Radio. We made it 1 year thus far. And I am absolutely thrilled to be doing this with you guys here a year later. The Father has sought that fit, but tomorrow is the first anniversary of our podcast trailer dropping. And so we're going to be celebrating our first year anniversary with Independence Day, with talking about liberty and what the Bible truly has to say about liberty. And one of the places that it talks about is James calls the law of God the law of liberty. Because when you are God, so here's the thing about our Father. Our Father created the world. He knows every aspect, just as a computer engineer knows every aspect of that computer if they have programs. So, for instance, Annie, I know you probably know this because you run a website, but as an administrator on a website, you have a back door into that website, and you can see what everybody else cannot. And it is let me find the wording here. I'm sorry, guys. It is the same way with our Father. When he has created this intricate system that we live in, he knows things that we don't. And so his law is put into place to bring us to our, like, the ultimate amount of liberty that any of us could have. And one of the things about liberty is having the freedom to make right decisions. And we don't even have that anymore in the world we live in. So let me move this out of the way real quick. Because I want to cancel this one out. We don't need that. So here is here's an interesting story. So shout out to you guys that are from up near Rhode Island. I thought this would make you guys happy. A Rhode Island police officer mows a 73-year-old woman's lawn after noticing the overgrown yard. This is a story from the Epic Times. When a Rhode Island police officer noticed an overgrown yard during his routine patrol, instead of just ignoring it, he took the effort to stop by and mow the lawn for an elderly woman, winning the praise of netizens for his service to the community. I gotta admit, I have no idea what the word netizens means. That's a new one. I have to look that one up. Officer Matthew Karadimos from the Warwick Police Department performed a welfare check on May 21st in the King Street neighborhood after seeing the overgrown yard, WJAR reported. Curious to find out more about the reasons behind the long grass, Karadimos first knocked on the door of the house but got no response. The officer then approached a neighbor in hopes to find out more about the owner of the overgrown yard. However, Amanda Goodinson, who resided across the street, said she was unaware of where the homeowner was and hadn't seen her lately. Karadimos then approached another neighbor who told the officer that the 73-year-old woman was fine and at work, but found it difficult to find a landscaper to cut the grass. Prior to help, Karadimos returned to his patrol with an idea. The officer then caught a hold of a man who came through the intersection and didn't stop at a sign. Quote, I said, "Hey, really? I was there," Karadimos recalled. He got a kick out of it and apologized and said, "I'll tell you what, do you have a lawnmower?" The driver returned with a lawnmower and I don't know if... Alright, I think we're good. OBS has been wonky on me. Yeah, OBS just kicked out, but it just reconnected. Like I said, I'm not using my equipment tonight. This is my brother's equipment, so the only thing I'm using is my soundboard and my microphone. But everything else is the webcam, the computer, all of that is my brother's. So, but yeah, Annie, I thought you'd get a kick out of that story. I wanted to specifically share it, number one, because it was a good thing a cop did, and number two, it was from Rhode Island. So, a place I've never been, but have must confess, it's a place I've always wanted to go to. So, I'm going to switch this back over, because I'm going to find another story. But in the meantime, while I find it, it was another heartwarming story I wanted to share. Give me just a second. Let's see, where's it at? Right here. Alright, this is what I'm going to do now. Alright. So, I'm not sure if you guys have checked it out yet, but if you have not, head over to our website because we have a daily show over there now called The Drive Home. Short, normally it's anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes where we just go over some of the things happening in the world. It's designed for people who have a short commute home from work. Normally, it's supposed to come out at 4:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. I'll admit I've had a hard time putting some of it up there on time, just with my crazy work schedule right now, but I do try to at least get them out once every day or so, or at least one a day. Sometimes it's every other day, but hopefully that'll get fixed here shortly. So let's see. Yeah, I've seen... It looks really tiny. I know some movies I liked when I was a teenager took place in Rhode Island, and it was so pretty. I've always wanted to visit, but I think on my senior trip in high school we went to Manhattan, and I think we drove like right through the edge of Rhode Island, but honestly I don't remember. I know we hit Delaware, but I can't remember about Rhode Island because I was 18, barely slept, and I got in that bus, and me and my best friend both knocked out. So, but maybe one day, if the world doesn't, go to hell. But, hey, we'll see. So, let me switch this back over, because this is another story I wanted to cover for today. Yeah, here we go. Oh, whoops. All right. All right, I read this story, so we just did this on yesterday's drive home, but I wanted to reiterate it. and do it on a video format because this one almost brought me to tears. So a woman who was once suicidal now posts notes of hope on a bridge for those in need. It saves 28 lives in 3 years. A woman in Sutherland, North England, who once contemplated suicide is now helping others in that dire situation by attaching notes of hope to the Weymouth Bridge, where she came near to jumping herself years ago. Paige Hunter, 21, has attached to the bridge more than 1,000 notes, which she handwrites, laminates, and ties with a string in a bid to reach as many people struggling with suicidal intentions as possible. 3 years ago, Paige became a rape victim and suffered post-traumatic stress disorder and depression. And it reached a point where she no longer saw the value of life. She went to Weymouth Bridge and contemplated jumping when 2 men in a truck who were passing by stopped and talked her out of it. They told me I was a lot more than I was going to do, Paige told The Sun. They called the police and stopped with me until they arrived. I am so thankful to them. The next day, Paige thought to herself that she could help others in her same situation and save lives like the men in the truck had saved hers. She began writing notes of hope, laminating them, and tying them to the bridge for people to read. The one said, "Pause, stop, breathe. There are better options and so many people who love you." Read one of the notes she posted. Another said, "Don't give up now, not now. Don't give up, not now, not tomorrow, not ever." By the end of 2018, Paige had posted over 40 notes on the bridge and helped save the lives of no fewer than 6 people in need. Over the last 3 years, her notes have tallied over 1,000, and the number of people potentially saved rose to 28. Paige includes her home phone number on the notes and said she had received numerous messages from strangers thanking her for saving their lives. Among the ones her notes have reached is Sarah Erica, 25, who was diagnosed with depression and anxiety in 2014. She came across the note during the lowest point in her life. To see someone who has fought through every day has given me motivation to want to carry on, Sarah said, according to the Washington Post. In 2018, Paige's efforts were recognized by the Northumbria Police, who presented her with an award. Quote, "Paige has shown an incredible understanding of vulnerable people in need of support. She should be very proud of herself," said Police Chief Superintendent Sarah Pitt. The notes of hope have since been made a permanent fixture on the bridge thanks to a motion passed by the local authorities. I just wanted to share that story because, well, number one, it's beautiful to see something like that. But I think a lot of times when we as believers, we get caught up in, a lot of spiritual warfare that bogs us down. And stuff like this is exactly what the devil and his minions doesn't want us doing, is giving hope to those who are hopeless. Which, by the way, if you guys watch the recent Doctrine of Christ that just came out, they just did 2 in the past few weeks about deliverance. And I've got a lot to catch up on, but I just listened to those 2 this morning. And it was absolutely incredible, the clarity that David and Jimmy brought out in those teachings. And this is one of the things that we're called to do in the name of Jesus, is bring deliverance to the captives. Whether those captives be captive in despair, depression. See, when you are without the hope of that comes through the blood of Jesus Christ, everything is just take the most hopeless thing you can think of and multiply it infinitesimally. And that is what it is like for some people. One day, if I can get her to muster up the courage. I'm going to have Sarah come on here so you guys can hear what she's gone through. Because she has tried to commit suicide multiple times. And the stories will break your heart. A few times have been since I've known her. And some of them I did not find out about until after we got married. But talk about an absolute hopelessness and the way that the Father has turned her around through the power of the Holy Spirit has been absolutely phenomenal to behold. And I'm just in awe of the work that the Father is doing. I really am. It's just been incredible to watch the transformations that the Father has done, not only in our lives, but in the lives of people around us. And, you know, even just hearing some of y'all's stories is just wonderful. And never stop sharing your stories, guys, because you never know who your life story could change. You never know who the Father is going to place in your life that needs to hear that at that specific moment. And this is what is so great about the gospel, because the gospel isn't just words. But it says that Jesus is the Logos, which is the living word, the spoken word. It is powerful. So it is word that brings life. It is the word that has become flesh. And so the gospel, the words of the gospel through Jesus Christ have been made evident into a tangible form. And when we are walking in the Spirit and we're walking according to the commands of God, we're walking in that liberty that He has given us, well, then the gospel becomes evident just in our daily lives. And it's incredible. It's wonderful to behold, because personally, I take it for granted so much. I get so caught up in the day-to-day stuff that sometimes I don't even pay attention to the fact that my life impacts the people around me. And that's scary sometimes. It's terrifying, to be honest. But I just thank God for His grace. I thank Him every day. And I thank Him that He lets me come up here and just talk about the stuff that's going on with you guys. I'll be honest, when I first had the idea to talk about current events, you know, immediately I thought of Dan. I thought of John Hall. I thought of guys like that, and I was like, why do we need one more of those? And to be honest, I'm still not entirely sure I see the benefit of it, but it doesn't matter as long as you guys do. Because if this is something that is a blessing to you guys, I will continue to do it even if I don't see the fruits of it. Because the fact that it's a blessing to you is fruit enough for me. Because you guys are the reasons I do what I do. 2018, I had a crisis of faith. And my crisis of faith led me to the point where it was quickly coming down to a decision of either the Bible was going to be true or it wasn't true. And I very well could have gone the way of all those apostates we talked about in the apostate report. I could have gone the way of Rhett and Link. I could have gone the way of Paul Maxwell. I could have gone the way of Kevin Max. But the Father, in His grace, saw fit to bring me back home. And two of the places He did that with was Now You See TV and FOJC Radio. And if I can even do that for one person, then I will feel like I have at least done something to pay it back, because it means the world to me that the Father brought me back, especially seeing what he has allowed other people to do. And really, it all goes back to the heart. You're either going to believe it. All goes back, and I wish I left my Bible downstairs. But it goes back to, you're either going to believe what's in that word, or you're not going to believe what's in that word. And I'm just thankful that the Holy Spirit moved to get me to believe what is in his word. And it's a battle every day for my allegiance. And I know it's a battle every day for your allegiance. But together as fellowshipping believers, we can encourage one another. And that was why I just wanted to choose, well, really in my mind, I found it as 3 encouraging stories. I don't know how you guys felt about the first one. That was an encouragement to me. I'm not going to lie. I cannot stand the people that are in office right now. And I pray that God has mercy on this nation and gives us somebody that will lead this country the right way. But it goes back to what I was saying, with encouragement between one another, with us holding each other accountable, and being an encouragement for each and every one of us to stay in his word. Well, we've got everything we need. We've got the word, we've got the Holy Spirit, and we've got each other. Which is a lot more, sad to say, a lot more than people in congregational meeting houses, these brick and mortar 501c3s. It's a lot more than they have. Because, yeah, they have the physical fellowship, but if they're, look, the church I went to, this is what happened. It was cliquey. Everybody had their own little cliques. I had mine. There were, all the soccer moms had theirs. So I had my clique because I was the worship leader. So my clique was the worship band. We were all pretty tight. We were a tight-knit unit. That is until I told them that the Christmas tree was pagan and brought in elemental spirits and got removed from my worship leader position. But we were a tight-knit unit. But guess who didn't have anybody to talk to? Anybody to lean on, other than me, of course. That was my wife. I was the only friend she had at that church. They didn't like my children because, well, Annie can tell you, my children are wide open. She's talked to them on the phone. So, which part of that was my fault because I called Annie right as they were getting back to bedtime. So they're always wide open at bedtime. But, the point about it is in these churches, they don't have the true camaraderie, the true community, the true fellowship that the Bible calls for. The book of Acts uses the term koinonia. And, of course, now that I've said the word koinonia, I can't remember what the textbook definition is, but it goes back to fellowship and community. And you're not going to get that there. But I think that's something we have, and I just want to address the comments. MB, I'm glad, thank you. Thank you so much. You don't know how much that means to me that any of you guys feel like you've got somewhere to belong. It's so humbling to be able to provide a blessing for other people. Words cannot describe how thankful I am for each and every one of you, because I cannot do this without you. You guys are the lifeblood of Course Correction Radio. Of course, it all belongs to the Father, but for one reason or another, he has brought every single one of you guys here. And my prayer is that I can do everything in my power to pass on what he wants to each and every single one of you. And you guys don't know how much of a blessing you are to me and Sarah. We literally look forward to the comments on every single video, because it gives us, we're up here, it's just, of course, like I said, we're at my parents' house right now. And my parents are wonderful. I love my parents. But when it comes to theology, we don't always see eye to eye. And I'm at least thankful that they're willing to discuss it. But it's so much of a blessing to interact with each and every one of you, because we know that, Sarah and I both know that we have a like-minded community with you guys. And thank you all for your kind words. I'm able to have the comment section pulled up, so I've got that right now. I don't even think I have OBS, I think I have it minimized. But right now it's just, I wanted to, guys, by the way, basically that's the news that I have. I just wanted to sit here and be able to interact with you guys for a few minutes if you're okay with that. So I am looking into maybe, and I'll talk to Sarah before anything's finalized, see if she's okay with it, because her and maybe my mom, possibly my dad, have all 3 kids right now downstairs. Plus, I've got 4 brothers. I think 2 of them are still home and they're teenagers. So they've got my kids plus all my wild brothers. But they've got them all down there. So what I'm thinking about doing is I'm going to look into a dummy number for this right here. So that way, and that's to keep the trolls from, I don't care if you guys have my phone number. And if you want it, email me, and I can get it to you if you need anything. And I will put my email. And look, even if you guys just need something and an email, this is a great email you can reach me at. Ladies, my only thing is, if you do need something, I'm going to make sure you have Sarah's email too, because I'm very old school like that. I'm all about boundaries. So I'm going to make sure if you guys have ministerial needs that you guys have Sarah's email so she can handle that, because let's face it, guys don't really understand what ladies go through anyway. At least I don't. I'm not good at it anyway. So, but yeah, I don't agree with a whole lot Billy Graham said, but that's one thing I do agree with Billy Graham about is definitely keeping up those boundaries of women minister to women, men minister to men kind of thing. So, but that, if you guys need anything, that email is there. If it is a inquiry for if you want to talk to Sarah, just put attention Sarah in the description up top. Just put attention Sarah in all caps. I'll make sure she gets that, and I will not read them. So, because your privacy is number one concern. I'm a huge advocate for privacy. So, yeah, I mean, I'm rambling at this point, but so you guys go to it in the chat. Love to hear how y'all's Sabbath went. I know with us we had a hold on guys, give me just a second. Is the video buffering over there for you guys? It's buffering for me, so it says it's got a poor stream status right now, which I don't know why it would. But you guys let me know. If it's getting too poor, we'll just shut it down. But that's entirely up to you guys. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. No, I'm I'm happy to help. I know how it is. So, believe me. Um, yeah, you're welcome. Sweet, awesome. Thank you. Yeah, it's showing that the stream is very poor on my end, which I'm not sure why, because this is like the best internet you can get in this area. But I mean, you know how it is. I bet my kids are watching TV downstairs. Is what it is. So, hold on, guys. All right, guys. I think I've got it back up good now. I just had to refresh the stream. So let me know how that is. I think there's a little bit of a delay, so. Goodness gracious. All right. Hold on. All right. Yeah, see, this is why I don't normally like doing the live stream. I will use it if I need to, but I'm all about pre-recording because I've noticed less things have a tendency to go wrong. Even though, with last week's show that Sarah and I did together, we got about 20 minutes in, OBS crashed, and it was already about 11:30 at night at that point last Sunday night. And we had to restart the whole thing over, and it ended up being about 2 hours long. But hey, it is what it is. At least it got out there. And hopefully this is getting out there. It says, hey, it is what it is. I'm just happy to be able to get it out there one way or another. So, especially news like this, because this was good news for a change. I don't know about you guys, but, yeah, so I see like things about slow mode. Mine says slow mode. I don't know if that's something on my end. If it is, I'll change it in the future. But I'm still working out the kinks with this. I'm hoping once we get up to Indiana, and I'm hoping I can take a crash course in streaming from the guys at Now You See TV, and that I'm hoping they'll be willing to show me the ropes through some of this stuff because I just ain't good at it. But I also don't want to hide that either. So give me just a second. All right, guys. Well, we're coming up on about 45 minutes, I think. So, I Oh, hey, guys, by the way, some of that could be YouTube because YouTube's not very happy with me right now because of some of the stuff I've chosen to talk about in the past few weeks. They're shadow banning me heavily, and they might be taking it out. I don't know if this is something they do, but they might be taking it out on you guys in the chat. I'm going to be looking into that. I've heard of other people having their comments deleted by the algorithm automatically. I'm just not too familiar with it. So I'm thinking that's something on YouTube's end, but I don't want to cast blame when I'm not sure. So, but I think I'm going to shut it down there. But if you guys have any other additional comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And if you guys don't mind, just make if you found this as a blessing or anything like that, please hit the like button because it does help it get out to other people. And please share the video. Let's get the good news out there. I mean, you know, stuff like this where we're talking about giving people hope is a great foot in the door with people. It's a great icebreaker. It gives people, it perks up their hope enough to where we can tell them, at least in my opinion, about the ultimate hope that can be found in Jesus. So with that, I think I'm going to shut it down. I want to just say God bless each and every one of you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in every single week. It means the absolute world to be able to sit down and just talk with you guys. Go over the news, go over, the Bible together. Tomorrow, we're going to be pulling out the likened unto Moses. We're going to be wiping the dust off of that. I've had this ready to go for over a month now and just have been trying to find the time. But we're going to be talking about the discourse between Jesus and Nicodemus and how that ties into the law of liberty and how Jesus is manifesting that. So we'll see you guys tomorrow night, 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, right here on Course Correction Radio. Y'all take care, and we'll see you then.